Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of the Collider Games podcast. My name is Dennis Den. In studio, I've got...
What's up, guys? Your boy, Dorian.
And also through the magic of Skype, we've got Caboose. Caboose, how are you?
Doing good.
Yeah.
Played a little bit of Anthem. Played a bit of Apex. So.
and I think that line just tells us everything about our first topic. So let's just get right into it. Anthem, the big first AAA title that's coming out this year, despite people arguing that it was Kingdom Hearts. I think Anthem is the first one that, like, you know, has a much bigger, I guess, expectation and overall, media buzz around. Anyway, so the game comes out. It's hard to frame this because I don't know when the game came out, right? The game came out today, supposedly, but really you could have bought it, a week ago if you had EA Origin Access.
You could have played a 10-hour trial if you had EA Access from a week ago. It was a mess.
Yes, it was a mess. So right now all the reviews are coming in because I think people started getting them yesterday or the day before. I think we got our review copy.
We got ours at like 3:45 yesterday.
3:45 yesterday, which is not a good sign because it's like 3:45 p.m. and then the game comes out at midnight, right?
Yeah. From what I understand, a lot of PC players were able to get theirs earlier. I don't know. I mean, obviously, PC players in general were allowed to play the full game a week ahead of time. It really confuses me why that couldn't have been the case for the console players, or why it just wasn't the fact that, like, hey, this is when the game comes out for everyone. But regardless, a lot of people have had some time to play it, just like you're saying, Dennis, and there's been some reviews out, right?
Yeah, but the thing is as of yesterday, most of the reviews were in-progress reviews that had no scores. They were hey, we're playing this game, but we haven't played it enough to give you a score. But the general overall thoughts, and I'm going to ask you and Dorian after this because you guys both played it last night.
Right.
So the overall consensus is that the game feels incomplete, that it's a fun in terms of the interaction, in terms of the gameplay, but that there's not enough in the actual game to warrant they're not saying that whether or not it's like worth it or not, but they're just saying like it doesn't feel like a complete game. It doesn't have enough there in terms of whether it's like the story or the different variety of missions or the different variety of like weapons or loot or anything like that. So that's like the main kind of consensus overall, is that it's fun for a short time and it gets repetitive, and then that the story that's integrated with it doesn't exactly, it's not smooth, right? It's like you're playing a lot and then all of a sudden it stops and then you have like a 5-minute cutscene or whatnot. So Caboose and Dorian, what were your impressions? Because I know we played the demo before, but what did you gain from now playing the full game?
So like I played, not playing the full game. You mean like just playing like getting? Like I'm kind of where the reviewers are, like in the in progress mode. Like it's I think I'm in that short span where it still feels fun and not like repetitive or anything like that. So that's where I'm at right now. I think and I was texting Caboose about it last night when you're first thrown into the game, like the first, I want to say 25, 30 minutes, the intro, and then once you're actually playing the game, intense, amazing, and it gets me excited. I'm like, all right, let's jump into this. Like I'm excited to see where this goes. And then from there, I've done about 2 missions and a freelance mission where you have to just like explore and try to do it. It's a free play mission where it's not like part of the exhibition match. So I'm doing that one. I was doing that one right now. But so far, I'm having a blast with it. But I haven't found that like repetitive side yet. So I'm probably, when we do a check-in like next week or something, I can do full.
Yeah, because they really didn't give us enough time to do a full review. I mean, if you know, it's been like, it hasn't even been 24 hours since we got that copy. And so Caboose, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, no, I agree with Dorian. Like the opening sort of mission is really cool. You know, you see these like giant monsters. It really introduces you to the world pretty well. And obviously, you know, for those who played a ton of the demo like myself, you're very familiar with the gameplay, and I love the gameplay. I love the way that you can fly around. I love the way that the movement works. The shooting is great. The only problem that I kind of noticed when we first started up is like the story. It's really it's a little all over the place. It's a little messy. I'm trying to get a grasp on what exactly is going on. You kind of get an overall broad idea, which is fine. Like I can tell you, something happens. There was at one point a ton of freelancers in the world that, run around in those javelin suits and they were considered heroes. Something happens that makes it not so. There aren't too many freelancers left that do the work that they used to. They're not considered heroes anymore. It's a nice setup. But the kind of nitty-gritty about it, why they call the game Anthem, is a little confusing. I'm sure maybe I'll learn more if I play through more of the story. It's just that's something I'm worried about. That's something that I'm a little not feeling too great about right now. Honestly, even just looking at the reviews in general, you look back at Destiny when that game launched, I get very similar vibes when that game launched from what we're getting here with Anthem, where Destiny, it played really well. Honestly, I would consider it one of the better FPSs we've gotten to date in terms of just the way that it works. But is it a game that fulfills the promise, that it's supposed to last a very long time? And I don't know if we're going to be there yet with Anthem. I'm wondering if this is going to be similar to Destiny, where a year from now, this is a great game. But I don't want that to be the case. I want it to come out at launch and be the best it can be and just improve upon that. So I'm lukewarm. I love the gameplay still. I love the movement still. Story, I don't know how to feel about it just yet.
Yeah, Caboose, didn't it remind you, have you seen the Pacific Rim movies?
Yeah.
It kind of felt like a Pacific Rim 2. Like the storyline of Pacific Rim 2.
Pacific Rim 1 was awesome.
Yeah, but it feels like the storyline of Pacific Rim 2 kind of mixed with Pacific Rim 1. Like they're kind of like tying those storylines together in this. That's what it feels like to me, Caboose. I don't know if you agree. But yeah, the gameplay still feels, I don't get tired of using the flying around Iron Man mode, even and then they give you like a couple tips at the beginning, like to cool your jets flying through waterfalls and stuff like that. So I'm still loving the gameplay about it. But I want to play more, explore through more, just so I can get a feel for it. But I'm not gonna lie, when I was playing through it, I was having a good time. But in the back of my head, I was like, all right, when can I go back to Apex? When can I go back to Apex? I'm not gonna lie.
But I mean, I haven't played the full game that you guys have, but I did play the demo, and I had a lot of fun with it. And the controls are great. The combat is great. I think people are saying it's very repetitious. I don't know if how I'm gonna find it. I remember, like I said before, this game reminds me a lot of Phantasy Star Online, which very few people probably remember, but it had a very similar structure of teaming up with a few people and then going. And a lot of it was going through missions and fighting creatures together and looting and whatnot. And that one was very basic. I mean, that was like 5 or 6 levels. Each level had like 3 little sub levels. Yeah. But it was very repetitive, and I played the crap out of that game. There was just something fun about partnering up with other people and trying to get better weapons and whatnot. So I'm just wondering, like, when I do get to this game, am I going to be more lax on it? Because maybe just that might be enough for me. Or am I going to get turned off because they're trying to tell a story, but it doesn't work?
And with the story itself, it feels like they're not throwing too much at you, but if you're not if you're not paying attention the whole time, then I feel like it can get confusing to some people because if there's a 3 or 4 minute cutscene and then you do a mission and come back and then you have to talk to some people and then they give you more exposition about the story. So it's like you have to go around trying to talk to different people, getting more and more of the story. So if you're not, I don't know, if you're not trying to do if you're trying to just get the story organically, you can't do that. You have to go about it just talking to people and then doing more missions and then going back. So it's kind of that I can see that part getting a little bit repetitive, but I think I'm gonna be in more the same boat of you. Like when you were playing that game, just it might have been repetitive, but just the game,
fun of it,
the fun of it. And me and Caboose haven't gotten to play together co-op mode yet because his game took forever to download. So by the time his was down, I was asleep. But so we're probably gonna play something together and do some missions and stuff like that. But it lets you go online. Like whenever you do a mission or something, it throws in other people online with you, so you're not just doing it by yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and it's tough, right? Because there's only so much that can be packed into a game where kind of the objective is all story-based content, you know? Well, at least with Destiny, if all else failed, there was a cool multiplayer mode to it. You know, you can jump in and face off against other people and stuff. But with Anthem, it's strictly story-based content. You know, yes, you can play co-op, but you can't play. There's no PvP aspect to Anthem, so there's only so much that can be packed in here before it does indeed get repetitive. It's just if the stuff that's going to end up getting repetitive is actually really fun, that's what'll keep you coming back. You know, with Destiny, they have the raids, and that's such an awesome experience every time. I remember when I used to play Destiny like hardcore, I had so much fun on the weekly reset when you can get all new rewards, get my group of 6 people together, solve those puzzles, take down the bosses, and make sure that we're doing everything together right. It felt so rewarding. I don't know if Anthem has anything like that. They gave us a glimpse of it with the demo with these things called strongholds.
Yes.
And honestly, at least the one that I played, like I mentioned this, I believe we talked about this in the previous podcast episode, but it just felt super bare bones. Just shoot, shoot, shoot. There's a giant boss, and he's a bullet sponge, and that's it. We're done. You know, it didn't feel like something that I would be super excited to come back week in, week out to try and grind to get better rewards from. So I don't know if Anthem has what it takes, the end game content to keep me coming back, but there's only so much content they can throw in there before it just gets repetitive regardless of how much you love the game.
Yeah, I read some reviews that they said the strongholds were disappointing, that I think there's only 3 of them at current time. Ooh. And then also that you're right, that it was the big bosses were just bullet sponges, where someone said they literally them and their team were doing was shooting that boss for 25 minutes. You know, like that was the extent of the you know, like what fun
There's
is
no
it?
Strategy.
Like they were just literally flying around. Everyone was just shooting the boss.
When we were doing, or I guess whatever boss we were fighting with other people, it's just like they spawned a bunch of creatures around. So like some people were shooting those, like some people were getting down. You have to revive them, but it's like you revive somebody, y'all all just aim at him, somebody distracts from this end, he'll turn around, throw a blast or something at you. The other people are shooting from behind and stuff like that. So it's I can see that like the bosses are not super challenging, the ones I've faced so far.
And then I heard a complaint that was similar to Fallout 76, where there may be story there, but the problem is since you're 3-4 people together, you're talking and you really don't listen to the story that's going on. You're not paying attention because you're just chatting with whoever else. And so it just becomes this thing where, there's a story there, but then the only way you can hear is everyone shuts up, but nobody shuts up. So
you want to talk and do,
And it's hard to get any, even if you're listening, it's hard to really get a grasp and an understanding on the story when it's just some guy yelling at you over the intercoms, you know? Like there's only so much information you can gather from that.
Yeah, and I've looked at like GameSpot, Destructoid, IGN. A lot of the scores have been like 6, 6.5, 7, like in that range. I'm sure some people have updated. There's more. You know, I'm still interested in the game. I may be a little less excited now than I was before because of the reviews, but I did enjoy the demo. I do like the gameplay. I like the co-op aspect. It sounds like just maybe some of the other things, maybe it's one of those things where it's just like a game that's good, just not great. I was hoping for a great game, you know. So let's turn this on. We're going to still talk Anthem, but let's talk about the release strategy, because this is something.
Yes,
Caboose, you saw me arguing with someone on our Discord. By the way, Collider has their own Discord channel. You can check it out.
Right.
We have our own, and then we have our sub channels of sports, games, movie talk, Jedi Council, et cetera, et cetera. So in the games one, I was arguing with someone, and he was talking about, like, well, he didn't find any problem or issue with the way that Anthem was released in the sense of, well, if you subscribe to their $14.99 a month EA Origin Access, you can buy the game early, which was earlier than when reviewers got it. I'm assuming that people like like IGN and GameSpot, that have a ton more money than we do, they probably just bought the Origin access and then just and then bought the game, just so they get it. For them, it was worth getting that head start on it. But I just have an issue with that. Regardless, it doesn't matter whether we get a review copy or not. Just the fact that you're basically paying extra money to get the game early. You're not getting any more content. You're not getting any bonuses. You're literally paying early. And I put up this example when I was arguing with this guy. Imagine if Avengers Endgame was like, hey, you know what? If you subscribe to our special extra level premium gold service for $50 a month, minimum 3-month commitment, we'll let you watch Endgame a month early. Like, it's kind of like just like, would people do it? Sure, they would, because they love, Avengers so much.
Right.
But you're like bleeding the customer dry, and you're not giving them anything. All you're doing is saying, we want you to pay extra money so you can get this early. You basically have, they're preying on the people who don't have any discipline.
Exactly. Yeah. And I hate the counter argument to that being, well, if you don't like it, don't buy it. Like that's such a. I feel like that's such a straw man way to put it. Don't like that. That's just not the way you counter argue it. Yeah. If you obviously, I'm not going to pay for it because I don't like it. Yeah.
Not going to support it.
But it still shouldn't exist. It's the principle of it that we're not a fan of, that we don't like. There shouldn't be a system where if I'm paying a premium, I get something early than what people normally will be, like when people will normally get the game. That shouldn't be a thing.
Yes.
I get that there's stuff like EA Access, which is cool. I only got a 10-hour free trial on Anthem with EA Access, and that's a monthly service that outside of this 10-hour trial, I'm also getting access to a library of games and everything that I can pay for and whatnot for a yearly fee of like $30. So fine. 10-hour trial. Okay, then I only get 10 hours to play the game a week early. But if I wanted to, I could have hopped on PC and paid another service outside of EA Access that's tied to EA as well that will get me the full game a week early. Do you understand how crazy that sounds? I don't know why this person in the Discord was not really getting it. There's EA Access and then there's that Origin Premiere, and they're two completely separate subscription services that both get you access to Anthem early, where one only gets you a 10-hour trial and the other one gets you the full game.
Yeah.
I just like, what? Are you kidding me? That's just crazy. So yeah, I hated it. I think it's really stupid. I hope that nobody else in the industry is taking this as an example of what to do, but more so what not to do.
Yeah, because it's confusing too. It's like, when is the launch? Well, it was a week ago. Well, not for us because we're going to get it this time. And it's like, especially when you're talking about something, it's like, I understand they want to get people on their subscription services. Look, I'm subscribed to many a thing. I'm not against subscription services. I pay for AMC A-List, right? I pay for Netflix, Hulu. I pay for DAZN, ESPN Plus. Like I pay for a lot of crap. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not the point. The point is then forcing people basically to pay for a service that they may not want. It doesn't. Because I think one of the arguments was, it's a good deal. It doesn't matter if it's a good deal. AMC A-List is a great deal. But if they put it into a thing where, hey, you can watch Avengers early, but you got to sign up for 6 months of AMC A-List, and I'm already a subscriber, I'll still be like, even though it benefits me, I just on principle that just it's not fair to other people who aren't and maybe can't afford this service.
Yeah,
especially sorry to cut you off, Dorian, but especially in an industry sort of sense, right? Yeah. You basically have to pay to get ahead.
Yeah.
We would have had to pay for EA Origin if we wanted to play the full game a week early and get ahead on reviews and everything like that. That should never be the standard. Sorry, Dorian, continue.
Oh no, no, you're good. And I was just saying that like within the community, like within the Anthem or the EA community itself, it kind of like creates like like a higher up, like we have the game now. Yeah. Some of the fans don't, so people are just you're creating like not animosity between people, but you're just I don't know. I feel like you're creating not a rivalry, but I don't know how
split.
You're
splitting
the fan base, like because like we said, some people can afford it, some people can't, some people might not want to just pay. Oh wait, let me pay $15 extra, like so I can play it a week in advance. Why? And like you said, you're not getting anything. I feel like it'd be different if like you're getting bonus features, bonus like skins, other cosmetic stuff like that along with it, but you're just getting the game a week in advance for $15.99 instead of waiting 1 week and you're getting it. That's like how much total? That's like 76. That's a lot. That's too much. My wallet couldn't handle in the first place.
And also, okay, if you're saying, okay, $15.99, it's a great deal. You get to play all these other games. But the whole thing is you're buying this one game to play this game. So what other time are you going to use to play the other games that are on this service, right?
Right. And what if you want to keep playing Anthem? You know, what if you really love the game, you want to play it for months to come? You got to either stay subscribed or buy out the full game. And now if you're buying out the full game, you're paying an additional $15 with the EA Origin, whatever, and the price of the full game to get access to it. So it's bad. It's really bad.
It's just not a good model. It's confusing for the end customer. Yep. And then it's I don't know if reward is the right word, but it's giving an advantage to people who can pay more for something that is exactly the same. It's one thing, like I said, if you're paying more to get something more, that's fine. But if you're paying more just to get early access, it's yeah.
And I feel like this is just probably all EA. I don't think the Anthem developers or anybody.
Well, BioWare's I don't think it's in BioWare's their past history because they mainly made Mass Effect and Dragon Age, and they would release DLCs that people would pay for, and you can pay for them, play extra games,
Yep.
And then so also there's microtransactions in this game as well, right? And I think equivalent to
they look like they're okay. I think the prices are drastically lower than what they initially were when we saw that leak a couple weeks back. So it's good. I mean, I doubt I'm really going to spend too much money, especially if it's from what they've shown to what the item shop will be, where it's literally just either, a different type of metal for your character's costume or just an armor set. Like, I don't think I'm going to care too much. I mean, unless it's really cool looking stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's cosmetic only, which is fine. The prices are a lot lower than they were when they first leaked. You don't have to pay a third of the price for the game to get one armor set.
I heard it was around $9 for an armor set.
Yeah, something like that, like $8.50, I think, somewhere around there.
Still kind of expensive.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll see as well. I want to play through a lot more of the game to get an understanding as well on how often and how much you get of the in-game currency. Because if I can grind it out and get quite a bit of the in-game currency, then that's pretty cool. Then I don't have to spend a dime. But I doubt it's going to be that way. I feel like it's probably going to be a real difficult time to get a lot of the in-game currency, and that's going to lead me to be like, oh, should I just spend the money?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, I mean, how much of this kind of, whether it's the microtransactions or the early access, whatever, has contributed to kind of I don't know. I mean, I guess the sales haven't come out yet,
right?
But I think with these type of reviews that it's getting and kind of the controversy, so to speak, of the game, how much do you think is contributing to it overall, like, not being as good of a game?
How much do I think the microtransactions
or just maybe not as good of a game, but like a negative impression of the game?
Oh no, I've already seen, like, because I tweeted out last night I was playing Anthem, and people were tweeting me. They were like, well, I think I'm gonna from what I've seen so far, I think I'm gonna wait about 6 months before I purchase it. So I think what we're gonna see is a lot of people just waiting until they update or bring more content on before they hop on board and decide to spend their money.
Right. Yeah. I don't think this game's going to have the legs that Destiny did. Destiny was like such an anomaly that people latched onto that game regardless of how much it was lacking in content at launch. And luckily, because of how many people latched onto that game, when they actually updated it and made it good, it ended up like having such a great player base. I don't know if Anthem's going to have that.
Yeah. You know what I've noticed? This is more of an overall impression. I do find that, and it's probably because video games is a newer medium and, you know, younger people are on it. I find that people who purchase video games are much more informed about their decisions.
Yeah.
And also about than like movies, right? Mm-hmm. There's a ton of people who go watch movies. They don't care what the reviews are. They don't, whatever. They don't even know any controversy that happened in the movie. Like, I'm
Look
sure
at Venom.
Yeah. Or just like anything. Okay, like Justice League, right?
Right.
Like the majority of people that went to go see that movie probably have no idea that who Zack Snyder is, who Joss Whedon is, and that they changed directors and this or that. You know what I mean? They just know, okay, there's Justice League.
Probably couldn't even recognize the mustache stuff.
Yes.
Like, I doubt anyone would have noticed. Yeah.
So I find, and obviously there are hardcore movie fans. Obviously, we're here at Collider. We do that. We interact with those people. But what I'm saying is, I find that games, though, most of the people are like online reading reviews, hearing what people have to say, and it actually affects it much more than movies do.
Yeah. So, I think the main factor in that especially is because usually games nowadays come around $59, $49, $49.99, $59.99.
No, it's $59.99. It used to be $49.99 back in the day.
So now it's like if I'm spending $60 on something, I'm going to make sure it's quality content or something. So
it goes upwards to $100 in Canada because of our crap dollar. So people definitely got to be ready to know what they're getting into when they're buying a game, because you're paying just about $100 for a game here in Canada.
Or you'll end up like that dude in GameStop trying to take it back.
Yep.
Mr. Fallout. All right, let's move on to the next topic. We have Halo. There's a Showtime series update, as we all know. We reported before, Rupert Wyatt, who had directed Rise of the Planet of the Apes, was supposed to be kind of the head showrunner, director for the series, and supposedly he parted ways amicably, but they always say that that it was a scheduling concern or scheduling conflict. So they have tapped what's his name here?
Otto Bathurst.
Yeah, Otto Bathurst, who directed last year's Robin Hood and some episodes of Peaky Blinders and Black Mirror. So
Robin Hood came out last year?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. It did, because it came and went. That's probably why.
Yeah.
They're going to start, they had the production, I think, originally slated for last year, June, but then because of all the different things happening, now they're tapping it for this year in June. What do you guys think? I mean, I did not see Robin Hood, so I can't judge on it, but what do you guys think of just the Halo series on Showtime?
Well, now, I don't know if the previous showrunner is dropping out because of scheduling conflicts. If you read between the lines, maybe it's because he couldn't get the script right or they couldn't get the story right. So this, I don't know. I'm hoping they can serve justice to this. I'm not a big Halo fan because I haven't played it, but I hope it.
Oh, you got to play it.
I know it's on my Game Pass. I have like two of the two ones downloaded. I haven't had time, but I'll get to it. So I'm trying. I'll get to it eventually.
That's actually a good co-op game too.
Oh
yeah. That's a co-op game done right. Because one, there's not a ton of story in there, so you're talking to each other is fine. It's like, and then they increase the difficulty level when you're playing with two people versus
let's
one.
Play
for sure. Hell yeah. I love. I'm okay. I don't want to say I love this news. I'm not overly enthusiastic, but I'm happy. Like the show, hopefully now is actually happening, and they're actually making it. I didn't see Robin Hood. I heard some really bad things about it. I heard its Rotten Tomato score was at 10% last time I remember. It seemed like it was a bit of a disaster, but On the TV side of things, this guy, Otto Bathurst, has done some pretty good things. He directed the first 3 episodes of Peaky Blinders. He directed the National Anthem episode of Black Mirror, which is the most messed up episode of that show.
It is the first one.
The first episode.
Dog, I was about to be out after that. I was like, what am I?
I almost went out too.
I almost quit watching that show.
That was my first one. Yeah, that was my first one, and I was like, I don't know if they're more rough. Like this. Like seriously, if the second episode was like that, I would have been like, I'm done. But luckily it wasn't, and I've seen some fantastic episodes of Black Mirror.
Oh damn! That changed my opinion
he's done a pretty good job on the TV side of things as both a director and a showrunner. So there's promise here. I think, and I mentioned this in the video that we put up talking about the news on Collider Games. I think the problem with Halo in a live action form has always been that every story they've tried to tell is just way too ambitious. Mm-hmm. Halo can be very bare bones. You can look at it super face value and say, it's just aliens fighting against Marines. Mm-hmm. It's just a sci-fi story. It's just about the action, about this cool guy named Master Chief. But there's definitely a hidden layer to it, hidden layers to it. There's a lot of cool stories, a lot of great lore out there about Halo that you can learn externally from the games. It's just when you play the games, you get a bit of the bare bones idea of the story. And I think that's what they got to do with the show. Just don't worry about all the nitty gritty. Just get Master Chief kicking ass, beating up aliens, give us some cool action. And if the first season is great, then we can dive it a little deeper. Then we can go deeper into the story of, things like Cortana or maybe the Forerunners, whatever they want to do. Let's just start it off, introduce the Covenant, give us some aliens, please give us Master Chief. Every live-action interpretation of Halo we've gotten thus far has for some reason shied away from Master Chief, and he is literally the face of the franchise, or the helmet of the franchise, I guess you could say. And I don't know why they shy away from this character. He's so
I think they're afraid to show his face, to be honest, because they don't show his face. I know, but they haven't shown his face in any of the games.
Yeah.
And so they're afraid that, much like, remember Dread, where Carl Urban, you only see like the bottom half of his mouth, so he's only acting through that. So
literally pull a Darth Vader here, get some big dude in the suit, and get the guy who does the voice from the games to just do the voice recording for the character. A lot of what makes Master Chief is a little bit of the emotionless side of him. The fact that you can't see his expression but still understand everything that he's feeling. That's what helps give him character. The lack of it is what helps give him that development. So I hope that they decide to focus on Master Chief, because it's cool. It's cool to jump into the Halo universe and think about the little insignificant ODST guy who's just running around in the battlefield and how much he can mean to the grander scheme of things. But I've had enough of that. The games have explored it. Books have explored it. Comic books. They've done animated series. They've done web series. Just finally give me the Master Chief in the form that we all want him to be. Just kicking ass, taking names, and then we'll get a season 2 where we can explore some certain things. And another thing that I mentioned in the Collider Games video, Terry Crews for Sergeant Johnson. If you've played Halo, you know that is the perfect casting, okay? But yeah, Halo, it means so much to me. I call myself Caboose because of Halo. There's a web series called Red vs. Blue, and I've named myself after a character from that web series. So I am Caboose because of Halo. It means so much to me and what I do here on the internet. So I hope they get it right.
Caboose, you should be the co-showrunner. You seem look over the show. Look over the show Bible. Make sure everything's good.
I guess initially it was supposed to be 10 episodes, and now they're doing 9 episodes. Yeah. So it's a very expensive show. So still looking forward to that. I'm sure once we get a trailer, which will probably be a long time from now.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we're probably not going to see this come out until 2020 then.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, at least a year.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the next topic. Nintendo working on a dead and buried game. So, let's see. Speaking to Kind of Funny Games this week, Game Informer's senior editor Imran Khan revealed that Nintendo is currently planning on reviving a game thought to be dead and buried. Some people are saying that it might be F-Zero. What do you guys think? What is this Nintendo game that's dead and buried that they're gonna resurrect?
That's a good question. I don't know, really. Dorian, what do you think?
I mean, we already know they're doing Metroid and,
right.
you know...
They've already announced that they've kind of rebooted the production on that game. So that's not necessarily news that would be hidden and now revealed what's being said here. So I'm not entirely sure, like, what is it? It's F-Zero is what the rumor is.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
I mean, that makes sense because I'm sure that there's been people who've been, there's been rumblings of it in that community. So that makes sense. I don't know, honestly.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you think about the iconic games, you're talking about Mario, Zelda, Metroid, and then you have the offshoots of Mario, like Mario Kart and Smash Brothers and whatnot. But what are like those kind of side ones?
Maybe it's
Star. And they had didn't they have a Star Fox game or not? I can't remember. They had something that had Star Fox in it. Like there was like an Ubisoft game.
It was that came out.
Yeah, but that wasn't a Star Fox game though, right?
It wasn't fully, I guess you could say, a Star Fox game.
Okay.
But yeah, that had already released. So honestly, I don't know, but I'm sure whatever it could be, it's going to be something that makes Nintendo fans happy. I also want to say congratulations to Reggie for all that he's done for Nintendo. He just announced recently that he is stepping down.
Right.
He's retiring. And I've never been the biggest Nintendo fan. I never bought all their products, but man, every time you see Reggie on screen talking about Nintendo, you can understand that he just gives off the impression that he is such a fan of all that stuff. So congratulations to him. And now Bowser is running the ship.
I saw that when they announced that. Did you see the picture where it was him like saying thanks for the friendly welcome or whatever, and then behind him, like they had them both tied up. That was funny. So maybe it's a Mario game now that he's in charge. I think that'd be dope. That'll be a perfect way to start your residence at Nintendo doing a Mario game because your name is Bowser.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, if that is the game F-Zero, maybe Star Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a Pokemon game.
They already have Pokemon games, though. A dead and buried game. I mean, I don't know how far back they want to go. Like back in the day, like when games came out, like you didn't know. Like when I was younger, it's like you didn't know what the difference between a first party and third party game. You were just like, there's all these games, and you just buy them, So I'm wondering if it's something from way back in the day that was like a first party Nintendo game that they just haven't. They found some new, like Excite Bike, You know what I mean? Like something like that where they're like, okay, let's do a new version of that. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be Excite Bike, but I'm saying like along that vein where it's like something like way. I mean, I think F-Zero would probably be the most likely.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let's move on to this. I just thought that was a fun story.
The headline is great.
Yeah. Apex Legends causes sales of VR game Apex Construct to take off. So apparently because Apex Legends is so popular and there is no VR version of this game, there's a VR game called Apex Construct on Steam, which is $30. And apparently people started buying this game, especially in China, because they didn't know that. They thought maybe it was a sequel or a VR version of Apex Legend. And so they purchased this and they felt like they were scammed. You know what? I mean, it's just one of those things where, look, this game came out before. It's not like this game was like, oh, there's Apex Legends. I'm going to make a game and call it Apex Construct. It's
right. This game's existed.
Yeah, this game already has been around. It just happens to have a similar sounding name. I understand with the language, like they couldn't totally understand. But it is weird. I mean, you would have at least watched a trailer, right, of the game before you bought it. Like,
People were Apex crazy, man. Like I bought like a package like I don't know, it cost like $9.99 or something, and I was like because I love the game so much, I was willing to do that. So I could see them just being like, oh wait, another Apex thing, let me jump on that. But if you're Apex Construct, you're just sitting there one day just like looking at the numbers and you just see a spike, like, oh okay, what's going on? All right, I'm not complaining. Let's see how this turns out.
It reminds me of, and they didn't do it on purpose, like I said before, but if they had done it on purpose, it's like those people who buy like Google except for misspelled, or Amazon but misspelled, like an extra N, or like a, you know what I mean, like a A instead of a O, or something like that, where like you're just feeding off the traffic of people misspelling your thing.
Yeah, they mentioned we sold more units of Apex Construct in China the last 7 days than during all of 2018. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure. You know what? Maybe we were wrong when we said earlier that gamers are a little more informed about the purchases. Maybe we were wrong.
Yeah. All right. That was just a fun one. This one is just a little a little notice. We talked about how Red Dead Redemption, I don't know if that sale is still going on. I think it might be, but how Red Dead Redemption 2 is on sale for $40. Mm-hmm. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is $19.99 on Amazon and GameStop.
That's a steal.
Yeah.
That's a steal.
All right, I'm getting that. I have $19.99 left on my gift card on it.
There you go.
It's a beautiful game. Game. I mean, Red Dead is also a beautiful looking game. So definitely, those were my two favorite games of last year. So I think it's a steal for that price. It's like a 40, 50 hour game.
Yep.
The map is huge.
There's a lot of time you're going to sink into it for sure.
There's a ton of stuff. Did you ever start playing on it, Caboose?
Yeah. I played a little bit of Odyssey. Nice. I enjoyed it. Yeah. I enjoyed the hell out of it. It's got some really cool missions, some really cool set pieces. But you definitely, like, if you're going to spend this $20, be prepared. If you really want to play this game and get the cool stuff, be prepared to, you're going to have to log in a lot of hours. You're going to have to play quite a bit before you get some of the really awesome stuff for your character.
Yeah, I love the boat sequences, fighting on the boats and just
the combat's great. Yeah. The story's pretty good. I won't say it's incredible.
It's not
pretty
Red Dead good.
Right. But yeah, it got nominated for Game of the Year. So at $20, I mean, why not? If you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, I'd definitely say that this is the time.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like Assassin's Creed games, but different though. It's definitely the biggest departure in a while for Assassin's Creed. All right, let's move on to Twitter questions.
All right.
Dorian, what do we got?
All right, so the first one is from Caboose's brother, Ender the Answer. Okay. He says, serious question. If Dorian Parks, Jack Hine, and Dennis were playing Apex against Caboose, 3 versus 1, who would win? Bro.
I would have to say Caboose wouldn't win every time, but I would say... I'd say 8 out of the 10 times.
I don't know about that.
He'd win.
I don't know about
7 to 8 out of the times he'd win.
I don't know. I'd probably say 5 out of the 10, especially because I've gotten decently good. Like I've been putting in a lot of hours, putting in some work. So I'm not at Caboose's level, but he wouldn't take me down that easy. Especially, so if it's 3 versus 1, I'm saying 5 out of 10 of the times.
Because I've seen Caboose take down other squads.
True, when we were both dead on the ground, he just came through real quick. But
I would say there'd be that rare instance where, like I said, 1 or 2 out of the 10 times that we'd get him. Caboose, we do have. I did take this screenshot of the one time that you, me, and Dorian played, and Dorian got a kill, I got a kill, and you had 0 kills. I took a screenshot of that because I preserved it for history.
It's going to go on
what was my damage numbers?
0. You didn't do nothing.
No, you did some damage, but it was one of those ones where we landed somewhere
and I died instantly.
Well, we kind of got attacked before we could pick up any weapons.
Right.
And I happened to have gotten a weapon. I don't know if you had or not.
Okay.
And then me and Dorian were fighting them, and you got killed, and I revived you once. And then right when I revived you, like I think you got shot again. Like, and then I was able to kill the guy, but then I got killed. So it was, and I tried to
so
revive
you're holding on to that to expose me.
Yes, exactly. So I'm saying that there's like this, this small percentage of chance where like the right circumstances could happen,
right,
for us to take you out.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe if they add some custom games, we can actually.
I know that's the thing is they don't have that though.
Yeah. If
we could do it like basically a 3-on-1 and see what would happen.
I think they said they were working on something like that as well. So that's we'll see. I mean, Fortnite recently gave custom games to content creators. Today's the last day that content creators are going to be able to use it, unfortunately. But they did give it out, and it worked like really successfully. Like content creators had a blast with it. Basically, like all you had to do was you create a code for your lobby and send out that code to people, and they can just queue up into the lobby and get in. And I'm sure that there's probably going to be a way that they'll do something similar with Apex. We'll see. I hope they get some custom games sometime soon, because it would be fun, not even just to like, have a scenario where we could do like a 1v3 or something, but to jump in the map, explore, look at some different areas, maybe kind of create a loot plan with your team before you jump into a legitimate match. I think that would be awesome. So hopefully they add something like that in the future soon.
Or we had two versus. If Dorian gets to the level he says he's going to get to in terms of his skill level, maybe we can do a 2-on-2. Since I'm the weakest player, maybe it's like me and Caboose versus Dorian and Jack.
I think that's fair.
Because Jack's fairly decent. Dorian's getting better. Like, I'm getting better, but my growth rate is just slow. Like, it's like I'm getting a little bit better. Like, I finally got like 2 kills on our last thing, where before I had 0. So
it's hard because you got to understand. Like, there's so many things to keep track of in Apex Legends. You got to keep track of what level is your armor, what level is your helmet, how much ammo do you have, what kind of guns do you have, do you have enough healing items, do you have an upgraded backpack? There's just a million things you got to keep track of. So once you kind of get the hang of the looting, then it's easier to focus on your aim and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Because it didn't really hit me at first. It's like you need to like actually pay attention to all the items and stuff. But now this is like the first like battle royale game where I'm like making sure like, all right, I need to get a level 3 body armor. I need to get a level 3 helmet. I need to make sure I get all these different items before we actually like start going into battle. Like, so yeah, this is the first game I'm like really like getting into it. I love this game so much.
Oh yeah, like when we played last week, when it was us 3 and me and Jack rotating in. Was it last week or was it earlier this week?
I think it was last week. Oh.
Yeah.
No, it
was Captain Marvel on Monday.
Monday.
So it was Monday. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun, and we were actually communicating. Because when you hop online, dude, I was talking to Caboose. There's a bunch of people that don't want to like communicate. They don't use their voice chat. They're not coordinating with you. They split off on the jump. Yep. They're asking for things. They're like, give me some ammo. Give me some ammo. Like,
dog, it is so frustrating. And sometimes I'll forget I have my mic hooked in, and they'll do like some stupid thing. Like, if you see me going up to a shield pack, and you notice I don't have one, we both don't have one, but I'm obviously there first, and you come up and grab it. What are you doing? Like, come on now. Like,
you're getting an earful.
Yeah, we're on a team. I'm like, what the? And then like one time somebody was getting shot at, but specifically because they came up and took my stuff, I was like, well, I'm just let them get down, and like you deserve to get shot because I don't know, but I'm a good team player, but there's just some times
I don't even like playing like, let's say 2 of us and then one other
just go
Dumbo.
I was gonna say I've had some definitely some bad experiences just solo queuing and getting to random squad mates, but I have a worse time when it's me and a friend, if it's just 2 people and we have a third squad mate who's a random person. That's when I've found most difficulty with playing with a random person, because they're either completely off on their own or they don't provide anything if you're asking. Yeah. Like if I'm late game, if it's mid to late game, we're kind of the last few squads left, and I say, hey, I need healing, I need a syringe. Or if you're the lifeline character, if the random's the lifeline character and I say I need healing, drop the drone. Like, just use your ability so I can heal up. I don't have to waste the inventory that I have.
Yeah.
Or please stick with the team. You know, like what I try to do whenever I'm playing, whether I'm solo queuing or I'm playing with a friend and we have a third person who isn't a part of our squad, who isn't a part of, like, in our party talking to us, I try to ping as much as possible.
Yes.
I try to let the game communicate as much as possible so that third person knows this is where we're going. There's an enemy over there. This is there's ammo here, weapons here. That I try to be as informative as possible for that person. And when the third guy is halfway across the map getting killed, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And then
why are you not with us?
And then sometimes people will be spending too much time on looting, and I'm like pinging like, hey, we should probably like move closer to the circle. And then by like the last second, they're like, okay, let's go to the circle. And then we're getting caught by the circle, getting harmed. It's like, bro, we had 3 minutes to prepare, but y'all want to spend like try to dash on the last 5 seconds, and then they don't even holster their weapons to like run faster. So tip that. It'll tell you on there to like holster it, but they just keep running with their guns. I'm like, oh, put up your guns, bro.
Yeah.
And
I had one experience though. I played the other night where my 2 other squad mates, just like me, pinging everything, being very informative. We won the game with like 24 squad kills total. Like as a squad, as a collective, we had 24 kills, and it was like the best experience. And it was definitely a great example that in a sea of problems, there is an aspect to Apex Legends where you can play the game communicating incredibly well with your team without having to say a single word over the mic. You know, you can definitely get everything you need to across in that game through its ping system. And I'm sure, you know, because we're still only 2 weeks in on Apex Legends since it's come out, when more and more people get introduced to the game, when the player base really grows and everyone starts to understand this game more, you're going to find, you know, that every time you solo queue, every time you queue with randoms, that they will understand what their duty is as a person who's not talking on the mic with their team, what they got to do to still be a team player. So I'm excited for that. I'm also excited, hopefully, that they add a solo mode and a 4-man squad mode. I think a 4-man squad mode could be very fun, probably a little hectic, but I would love for them to experiment with it.
And that new Havoc gun is deadly. I love that.
You like it?
I love that gun. I love it. I love it.
I'm mixed on it. You know, it's good and it's bad. I think it's definitely not. If you're an Apex Legends player, you know what I'm talking about when I say this. It's not a Mozambique. It's not that stupid pistol shotgun that's only got 3 shots in its clip and barely does any damage. It's nothing as bad as that, but I just don't think it's still the gun I want with me towards the end of the game.
What's here? I usually, my shotgun is like my main to go to because that's like the Peacekeeper is the main one. I love that one.
Yeah.
All right.
My go-to probably is the R301 assault rifle, and then the Wingman, that like Python pistol basically.
I hate pistols.
I freaking love that thing. It does a ton of damage, and yeah, that thing's a monster.
All right, we like all right. Let's do another question. We went ham on Apex.
We jumped into that one.
All right, let's see here. Okay, so we have Christopher Cochran. It's a good question. If they make a Wreck-It Ralph 3, I'd love for them to focus on console and/or /online gaming. If that happens, what modern video game character would you love to see make a cameo or appearance?
Oh wow, that's a good question. Master Chief. I gotta go with Master Chief.
Didn't they not Master Chief, but didn't they do like a Halo-esque type thing in the first one? Like I think like what's her face? Jane Lynch's character was like in a Halo style.
Not Cortana, is it?
No. She was like the type of game. It kind of looked like a Gears / Halo style game or whatever.
I'd have to rewatch it to see.
Let me see. Master Chief would be great. I'm trying to think.
Maybe Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War. Although Gears of War is like super violent, very M-rated, they might not want to put that in a Disney film. I think that would be funny.
I mean, I was surprised that even the Jane Lynch one was in there because that was a little more like. I mean, they were using laser guns and stuff, but it was still a little more violent than normal. And they've had the Street Fighter characters. They had like Pac-Man, Q*bert.
I'm sure there could be, again, I know it's an M-rated game, but I'm sure there could be a really funny bit with someone from Mortal Kombat in there. You know, like Scorpion or Sub-Zero. I don't know. I think something that I'd have to rewatch the Wreck-It Ralph films to see if they've already done a reference like this, but I think that would be funny.
No, I don't think they've done any Mortal Kombat or anything, especially
nothing like that.
Yeah, in the sequel too, it was really Disney heavy. So
yeah,
if they could do something outside of the Disney characters, like it would be cool, like a Scorpion or something like that. Just you don't have to show him like actually ripping heads or anything, but just him just popping up would be dope. And if especially if they're going to focus on console and online gaming characters, I think that would be cool. If they do make a Wreck-It Ralph 3, I think they should put it on the Disney Plus service and do like a spin-off series with the characters. I think that would be a better.
Yeah, I don't know if I can say any because all mine are like Arthur Morgan is not popping up in Wreck-It Ralph. You know what I mean? Like, Assassin's Creed's not popping up in
Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Technically, they have Marvel characters in there already.
All right, let's do one last one.
All right, let me see here. Okay,
pick a good one.
All right. These are all.
And not Apex Legends because we'll talk about that for like half an hour.
All right. We'll end it on a Mortal Kombat one since Caboose we got some Mortal Kombat stuff coming later today.
Yeah.
When Carlos Cortez Jr. asked, when MK11 comes out, who do you think you guys will main as? Well, if Kenshi is on the roster, then I'm maining as Kenshi. But from the roster we've seen thus far, Caboose, I'll let you go first on this.
I got to go with Cabal. So far out of everyone we've seen, Cabal is so freaking cool. His whole moveset, his character design, I'm all in. That honestly might even be, regardless of what we see on the roster, unless Noob Saibot shows up, that's probably who I'm going to main, or try to at least.
I haven't played Mortal Kombat since probably Mortal Kombat 3.
Damn.
I used to play with Sub-Zero.
I was just about to say, if they don't have Kenshi, I'm decent with Sub-Zero. I'll take him online as well a little bit. So right now, from the roster we have, it'd probably be Sub-Zero. But from the new characters, or not from what's her name, the one that can control blood,
Scarlet.
Yeah. She looks pretty dope. So I think I'd give her a try. I don't think she'd be my main, but out of the roster that we have right now, it'd probably be Sub-Zero and then Scarlet. But they better bring Kenshi.
Yeah. I was always a better Street Fighter player than I was a Mortal Kombat player. So
that's fair.
All right. That's it for this episode of the Collider Games podcast. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you can subscribe on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Collider Games, or on the podcast feed, which is Collider Factory. We have a bunch of other podcast feeds for Movie Talk, Jedi Council, sports, and all that good stuff. Dorian, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Dorian Parks and Rec, because Parks and Rec is better than The Office, and you can find me on Instagram at Dorian Parks.
And Caboose?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at CabooseEK, and right here on the Collider Games channel and on the Collider Discord.
Yeah, Collider Discord. We also twitching a lot of Apex Legends lately. So
we might stream some Anthem today, maybe. We'll see.
Cool.
Oh,
and you guys can find me on Twitter at ThinkHero or Instagram, Dennis.tzng, and we'll talk to you guys next time.